Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fire Emblem Advent Calendar. Today is day 11. Today, BA is going to tell us his third favorite Fire Emblem unit. Go ahead, BA.
Good day, everybody. So, my third favorite that I chose is Hector, because he come on, it's freaking Hector. What do you expect? He's amazing. He's an absolute monster. I love this guy. He's probably so I entered Fire Emblem via FE7 when it was first released. I know, boomer jokes, yada yada. Anyway, let's skip that, okay? So, Hector was honestly one of the coolest characters from that time period for me. I absolutely loved Hector. He was one of my favorite characters at that point in time. From FE7, he was my favorite. He was just so cool. And then like we see his like time after you beat the game, it goes to the like time skip cutscene where like you could actually see how he looks when he's older. And oh my god, he looks so cool. Blue-haired lords for the win. Yeah, it's I love Hector. He's so cool. Axe Lord, how many times has that been done?
True.
Freaking
Like
FE7 3 houses. That's it.
Edelgard doesn't exist.
Oh, Camilla, I guess. Camilla, I guess.
Edelgard's a copycat.
It's been done 3 times, but still. He's just so cool. He's like an armor knight without the movement penalty. He's got a little bit of speed on him, enough to actually make him viable. He's just so good. And like, there's a cipher art, I think, of him holding little Lilina, and it's just the cutest thing ever. And there's also the duo Hector and Faye, and all of his artwork's good. He's such a wholesome guy. He's like, yo, I don't give a crap if I'm a lord. I'm still gonna punch you in the face. It's great. Yeah, that's my reasoning for Hector being number 3, above Micaiah, I might add.
Dane, that's true. You're a fake BA, dude. Imposter.
This
Kinda
is not
sus.
real.
But yeah, I honestly have never completed FE7. Probably will one day. But I do know Hector's pretty cool because like it's weird. He's a lord, and he's not a lord. If that makes sense. Like he just does not act like a lord, which I won't lie. Hector's kind of stupid, but at the same time, he's such a good friend. I can't hate the guy. He's like really just such a bro to Elliewood. He's always there to help him out. Even like whenever like stuff is going off his brother, he's still there for Elliewood. It's just insane, dude, how much of a bro this guy can be. Also, like you're saying, like Axe Lord is just really good. He's easily just the best lord in that game, and there's 3 of them. So, yeah, that's saying something. Then again, Elliewood and Lynn are just bad. But yeah, Hector's just good.
The truth.
Inaccurate.
True, false information. Lynn is actually amazing.
Elliewood is actually amazing.
Dane.
Yeah,
You're all pretty good.
honestly, look, they are all good. JVR and I know, because if you train them all, you get guides, and that makes your game so much better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They are all better in Japanese version, and the main reason they're screwed over is because the West release decided to nerf effective weapon to ×2 instead of ×3 effective damage modifier.
You took the words right out of my mouth on that one. I was about to say he's goofy for that reason in the Western release.
But even with the how do you say ×2 modifier, the Wolfbane still has such a high might that it can still one-shot some cavalry. But he will need some strength level ups in order to continue one-shotting cavalry. Which is one tricky thing about Hector in gameplay.
Yeah, definitely. Hector's a weird one for me, because like by all means I should like him, for the reason you listed with the 2 times effectiveness, still actually working out for him slightly, somewhat. But like, I don't know, he just doesn't do it for me. Every time I've had an okay-ish Hector, he's always just been okay. He's never, for some reason, he's never outdone my Bartray even, and I don't even put a lot of time into Bartray. He just kind of isn't good for me. I mean, I guess that's RNG, everyone will have their own experience and stuff, but
no, I completely understand you, Apollo. My first run of FE7, my Hector was so speed screwed that he literally got one-rounded by Denning on that chapter.
Sheesh, that's crazy. I very specifically remember the stat line I was working with going into promotion. The time that I played Hector hard mode, it was 13 strength, 15 speed was my Hector. It was super weird. He was so weak. His speed was like right at the threshold where he wasn't quite able to double, because he does get way down a little bit by stronger axes. And I don't know. It's just, I mean, not to say that I don't like him. From a character standpoint, while I don't particularly like FE7's story, I think he's a pretty good, very interesting character. He doesn't do the typical lord thing of, I'm a lord and I'm slightly regal, but I'm still a combat guy. He's just a combat guy. Like, one of his talk conversations outside of Kaelin Castle, I think, it's either that or his support with Lynn, where she's like, you fight so recklessly, and he's like, I'm self-taught, you know.
Yeah.
It's awesome. He's a really cool guy.
Pretty based.
Yeah, I think that was a conversation after the battle. So,
Yeah.
but there's a lot more things that I like Hector as a character. For one, his support with Eliwood, where he literally, how you say, shows his friendship by literally, how do you say, doing a blood bond with Eliwood, which is basically where you cut a part of your hand and bleed out. So that way you have other persons bleed out. It's not the most hygienic thing in the world, though.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
especially in medieval times.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and may I point out there was no social distancing. Can't tell me that's sanitary.
There's also the fact that he was willing to pick up the Armats, even though he was told about the curse of the Armats, which is that you will die in battle and not die a peaceful death. And that literally comes true in FE6.
Yeah.
Sadly.
That's honestly one of the best plot points between those two games.
I heard this fan theory a long time ago that actually, like, in a way, the Armad saved him because his family always gets this sickness. But Hector didn't die from the
Oh.
sickness; he died from Armads.
Yeah,
That's-
I actually really like that interpretation of the theory because I just say, at the same time, if it wasn't for the fact that he was cursed by Armat, he could have literally died by the disease because he's the only one of his family members that does not die to this disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Family
true.
cancer.
His whole thing early on is like the parents died and then Uther ends up catching it, which is kind of crazy. Maybe the blood bond was not such a good idea. Do you think Eliwood got it? That's why he got sick at the
That's
start
why
of
he was
FE6.
sick.
Gosh.
That is Saint Roy stats!
Got him.
It's Hector's fault that Roy's bad, I see.
This whole time.
JBR, what do you think of Hector?
So, FE7 is a weird story, but what it does do right is it's a very, very good like character-centric story, and for it to be good, the main characters have to be good. And Eliwood's relationship with Hector is a whole in his own story, and his relationship with Lynn, all is very, very good, and that's what makes FE6 a decent enough story to be a good Fire Emblem game.
For
yeah,
sure.
I think he does a lot for the story. He kind of hard carries the story, if I'm being real about it. It's
Oh yeah.
it's pretty impressive. Like, you know, like you said, it's not a fantastic story, but it does very well with its individual characters in terms of how the supports are written and how they interact with each other. It feels like, for lack of a better word, real in a sense that it's not, in a sense where some games don't. Like, you have FE6 with Roy talking with Merlinus all the time. You don't really get a lot out of that.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you guys were saying, like really, it's just like the main thing of Hector is just like his relationship with Eliwood. It's just they're such good friends, and Hector will do anything for Eliwood. And Eliwood will do anything for Hector.
hmm
And like,
And that really does.
The ultimate bro, man.
oh yeah,
Like you were saying, it really comes through with the helping and stuff, because in FE6's story, it literally starts off with Eliwood being like, I swear I would go help Hector right now if I wasn't about to fall over from this disease.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he sends his literal blood son to do it in his stead.
Yeah.
One little interesting bit of trivia that I like to point out is the fact that Hector and Eliwood both share blue and red hair. That might not seem very common, but if you notice, Hector's character design looks awfully similar to Lex. And Lex's best friend was Azel in FE4's story, and Azel has red hair. So that's a very interesting connection that they did for Hector and Eliwood's design.
Yeah. I bet you, like, guarantee, like, that they got inspired by them, dude. Hands down.
Yeah.
Alright, any final thoughts?
Top 3 lords.
Hector and Florina is in the canon pair. If anybody says otherwise, fight me.
Hector is such a bro.
Yep.
Anyone would be very, very, very glad to have him as a best friend. So
Oh, yeah.
Eliwood is a very fortunate man.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I guess that's about it for this episode, but let's go and just end this episode off by just all of us saying bro. Bro.
Bro.
Bro.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Bruh. J
Bro.
bruh. channel.
Bro.
Alright, see you guys
Bruh.
next time. Bye!
Bruh.
Later.
Bruh.
We're ending?
Bro.
Bruh.
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 Bruh, bruh, bruh.
Bruh.